Are we ready? All right, we will
I can't hear you. I mean, I can't see you, though.
I'm not sure if there's a way to make it.
It's all right, we're not that good looking. There we go.
There it is.
Now you can see it.
Yeah, must be
Yes.
from up there.
All right, we will call the meeting to order and do roll call. Do you want to start here?
Bruce Richardson.
Melanie Hedgepath?
Larry Pencratz.
Denny Walgren.
Do those on Zoom want to go ahead?
Bobby Slower.
All right. And the confirmation that the Kansas Open Meeting Act notice has been done?
It was.
All right. Introduction of guests, if we have any, no? All right. Citizens Forum, if anybody has anything. All right, moving right along here. Okay, approval of agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, any opposed? All right. The next thing we have are the minutes. Do we have a motion or any discussion on the minutes from last month?
I move we approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And we have a second from Bruce. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. All right, activity reports.
So if you couldn't tell, I'm not Jeff. Jeff is on vacation, so I'm filling in. I'll let Dennis talk about any accomplishments that his staff has if he wants.
Well, we got through Riverfest.
All right.
That was a big accomplishment.
And nice job. That was a tough thing on the park.
Yeah, no, it went well. No issues. So, and the other big thing was the end of May was Memorial Day with the cemetery. So we got through that just fine also.
And it looked real nice with the extra flags and things. That was nice.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking up all the time, Dennis. Yeah, basically that was the big one for this month, the getting through Riverfest. The pool's just now getting started, so we'll get to that. Weren't a ton of special events other than those. Kenwood Cove obviously opened. You can see that they had a pretty successful. I was just opening. I was just talking to Morgan, and we're doing quite a bit. It's been busy. It's been really busy there, which is a good thing. Golf course has been operating very well. He's kind of exceeding what he expected, given coming into the year. Last year, not having the driving range, we think really affected the overall. And this year, it's like we're almost making up for it. It's going very well there. He's exceeding his rounds that he expected, and he's getting more play than he originally expected. So it's done very well. You can talk about Fieldhouse.
First and foremost, I just want to jump back to therapeutic recreation. We were very excited for that, so thank you. Thank you very much, Melanie. We did hire a supervisor. I think you met her, Sarah Hageman, and she's excited. We were getting therapeutic recreation back on the map, and that's a good thing. Well needed since the pandemic. So a long time coming for that. Did cooperate with the library on some classes. We had a kind of a meet and greet event, and we're getting some more things going for that population. So we're very excited. She is bombarded in summer camp right now, so she's my girl operating that. We got 70 to 80 kids every day, and they're busy, very very busy. The next one on her is the July 4th event, so play day in the park. As you recall, we haven't had that event since the pandemic as well. So she's very busy getting that organized, and we're very excited for that event. May was very busy for us. The field house slowed down just a little bit. We're okay with that to catch a breather because our same staff operates the field house and outdoors. So very busy. But we still had a few things, adult volleyball going on, had a MAYB tournament, and in June, just on the horizon, where it's like it flips. It kind of turns into a day facility instead of evenings. Everybody's busy outdoor in the evenings, so it's very, very busy with camps, summer camps, those type of things. I'll report that to you next month. But and then on the flip side of that, then outdoor athletics gets really, really busy. I mean, we're full swing of practices, games, and tournaments, so we're very, very busy there. And on the Nemaha side of things with Bill Burke, if you haven't noticed, Parks Department, we did the irrigation sod work, so everything is playable on the inside of the fences right now. So, and then after season, we'll look at the fencing itself, the dugouts and backstops, those type of things.
And I think this weekend proved how nice the indoor or the turf infields were. They had an inch and a half rain Friday night, and they still played. Had an hour delay, and they still played.
We did something that we've never done before, and we have 13s and 14-year-olds, and they'd play up at Barkley. Well, they played at Bill Burke this weekend, so on Sunday, because they got rained out up on the hill, and we don't care if the bases are shorter, we're going to play. So we did that. They were mainly 13 and under teams, so it kind of worked that way. So,
But yeah, that made a difference because that's Saturday.
Yeah.
That tournament, hour delay, and that was it.
Yep.
So that was great.
Yeah, it was. Soccer, we're at our highest rec teams we've ever had, and that's 19. And where there's a pro, there might be a con. We're seeing a lot of wear and tear on that grass, especially field number 1. So we're going to open up our fleet a little bit more and put some practices elsewhere and try to spread out that wear and tear. Not going to lie, I think the rain helped. We weren't getting the rain there in the spring, and it didn't look the greatest. So now we're getting the rain. It's starting to come back a little bit. So outdoor tournaments every single weekend. We had a tournament, if not 2 tournaments outdoors. I listed those there. The change this year was that baseball still at Dean Evans Stadium, but softball has found its home there at Solana South. So still rain delays. You can't. There's a couple myths with turf we're experiencing with the public, and they think that it's maintenance free. It's not, and it thinks that even if we get rain or whatever, that we play no matter what. Well, that's not necessarily true with lightning. So we still have to abide by the lightning policies that we have. We did try a new tournament during that weekend of Memorial. It didn't go. We're going to try again. So there's some change going on, but we're okay with that. That's about all I got.
All right.
I don't know if Troy's here, but maintenance staff obviously continuing on, trying to keep up, then that's not going to happen. So they're doing the best they can with what they've got. So.
All right. Are we ready to move on to new business?
No.
No? Okay.
I just thought that passengers that helped with the Lakewood situation should be noted and recognized that they volunteered and did what they did.
Yeah. When you say Pestinger, are you talking about the?
Where they helped out with the fence for one thing,
Yeah.
and they also did some stuff with the fish. I saw.
History survey?
Passenger distributors.
Yeah.
I was thinking HVAC kept going.
Sorry. Distributors.
We got several passengers here.
Yes, they do deserve a shout out. You're very much accurate on that. This is the first time I'm trying to learn on the fly here, so bear with me.
I have a question. What is your name and title?
Oh, sorry. I usually sit over there and try to be quiet, or sit back there and try to be quiet. Brett Lamer, Deputy Director, so filling in for Jeff in multiple capacities when he's gone. So.
Thanks. I recognized your face, just not your name and job.
I do the best I can at hiding in plain sight.
Hey, this is Max Wade. I don't know, so, maybe the fact that you have something from project management this quarter, as something staff, or, it's part of the next, making teams. And I really like to have an assistant coach.
Hey, Matt, are you talking?
Hey, Matt,
Matt, are you talking?
if you're trying to just,
You're cutting out
it's
a
like
lot.
cutting out really bad, and we're not even getting any words. I don't believe.
Maybe you could type it
Yeah, if you do.
in the chat.
Have her check it.
All right.
He said he'll bring it up at the next meeting when he's here in person.
All right, sounds
Right.
good.
Bring it up at next meeting.
All right, are we ready to move on to new business at this point? All right, Jerry Ivey Park.
So, just before the meeting started, Dennis informed me that we had to call it off for today. We originally had planned a closure for the the splash pad, spray pad, because we are redoing a line. So with the pond going away, we had to figure out where we wanted to do with that water line. And so we had got with wastewater and had a project going to divert the water from where it was going into one of the sewers. And that project was supposed to begin today, so we were going to close the splash pad. The rain caused that to be pushed off for a little while, about a week. So you'll see here soon that that is closed, but it's only going to be a short term. We hope that if we close it on Wednesday, it should be open by at least Saturday. Shouldn't take very long, but it's just finding a place to put that water. That with the Jerry Ivey Pond, which I'll talk about in a little bit, with that going away, we needed to find a place to put that water. So we were hoping to have that project started today and ended on Friday, basically, but the rain put us out, and we don't. The contractor was concerned with messing up the park too much with the rain we got, so that's probably a good thing because then we have less cleanup afterwards. So it's going to be a little bit for that, but that is going to be started.
So using Facebook to make those announcements, things that work pretty good. I saw that, last night it was announced already.
Yep. Yeah, that works, and it's quick. It's easy. It's fast. It gets to people very quickly. So we found that that's usually a good one. And then of course we do it on our website and some other places. But the Facebook and social media is typically the way people get their news and get fast news, I should say. So we'll make the announcement, the adjustment here, and get it announced that it's pushed off and it'll be moved, so it'll be open. So.
Playing a little catch up, what plan are they actually going with on Jerry Ivey?
Well,
business.
that hasn't. The only thing, and like I said, I was going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it here if you want. But the only thing that we've got okayed and we're moving forward with is just filling it in. They haven't made a plan as far as what we're doing after that part. This here was just getting it filled in and getting it basically leveled off, and then there's some more design that has to be done to move forward with some sort of water feature.
Okay.
We haven't gotten that far. This is just filling it in and making sure we don't have a blue-green algae problem this year. And so we got that okayed. That project is going to start. We don't have a start date yet. So I'm kind of covering old business B, but I'll just do it. We got it's been awarded. We've got the contract out, but it's not completely signed yet. We're still waiting on all the signatures to come back. And then when that happens, we'll have a pre-construction meeting, a little bit more of a plan and more of a timeline. Right now, it's going to happen. We just don't know exactly when.
So you have to pump it all out and then let it dry and then fill it in?
Yeah, I don't remember how much they have to let it dry, but we have to get the majority of the water so they have their proper compaction and that make it safe so we don't have a, settling problem or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
With the 4 some inches of rain we've had, it kind of filled back up, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. So. Any questions on the closure for Jerry Ivey or anything?
No, I appreciate the thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So Barkley Park, we came to you guys a while back and asked, for a recommendation. We didn't, it was one of those where we weren't sure if we actually had to, but we wanted to make you guys aware of what we were doing because basically the Barkley Park pods, what we call them, they're just getting destroyed. We have people calling saying the mulch isn't doing good on our dog's paws, and they're just getting really hammered. So we're going to go back to what we had done pre-COVID, and that is have 2 open and 1 closed. And we got with the park staff and determined that basically, I think July 1, they'll be closed, and we'll immediately start with our maintenance, trying to get 1 pod fixed. The other 2 will remain open, and they'll remain like the small dog, small, medium, or whatever, and large. And we'll try to get those to where they're back to the way they were kind of when we first had them open, and the nice grass, and the dogs don't have to worry about mulch and sticks and all that and that. It may be something that there's going to be quite a few people that aren't real happy. I know quite a few people wanted to go up there, find the open pod where no dogs were. These dogs are mean, mine's nice, that sort of thing. But we just have to do something because we don't want to make it to where they're just completely unusable. So we're going to try to do 1 a year, and while it's closed, we're going to try to update them. Get some maintenance done, get some benches looked at, and get the grass growing again. So we're going to start that process. It sounds like July 1. So.
All right.
And we'll, again, use the social media and some other things to kind of, let that be known. But also we have signs explaining it and some other stuff. So they should be aware, but it is something we have a feeling is going to be kind of get a few calls and people aren't going to be happy. And I live with one of those people. So
With all the space you have out there, is there a thought of ever adding another one?
Yeah, there's always, a long time ago, there was a thought of adding one to the back and not making it grass, like having like a natural area. It's probably finances and getting a plan started and knowing exactly, because now there's other things that might want to use that space. And so we have to, if we want to expand up in that area, it'd be along probably like make sure that we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's, because we don't want to make a rash decision then have somebody go, wait a minute, you said I could do that. And so, but yes, it's been that they get used heavily. And
yeah,
so,
a lot.
And if it's not there, we're looking at other locations as well. We haven't narrowed anything down right off, but they're one of the most popular features of our parks. So we want to make sure we have those, and not just all in one location, but also spread out. So always a thought to that.
Any further questions? All right, moving on to old business.
Just to make sure if he asks a question. Appreciate it. Okay, so I already covered B, but so pickleball, as you guys I think are aware, we had a donor, and if you watch the commission meeting from, I think it was we had 3 straight commission meetings where we had commission action, and then we had a holiday, Jeff gets back, and then we have another one coming up for another thing. So we've been really, really busy writing contracts and getting stuff done. And another one that we're really, really excited about is the pickleball courts. Donor is paying for basically the entire thing. We have some work to do to get the tennis courts that are condemned that aren't being used out, and some other things that we'd like to get done first. Well, hopefully first, but we've got the okay to proceed. It's a little bit more, whereas we're just waiting on a few signatures on the pond demolition. We have to make sure that we get the check. A couple things have to happen before we can proceed, and one of those things is we have to have the check in our hand, and then we also have to have that same contract done. So that one, we're not sure exactly on timeline, but we're trying to hurry. It's been awarded, but it hasn't been, I shouldn't say that. We've selected a contractor, but it hasn't been awarded yet until all these things happen. So we're excited to move forward, but we have to wait for the proper things to fall in place before we can move forward with that. But to have that 100% basically paid for by donors is amazing. It's one of those things, I'm sure we discussed it prior, but it's just they don't want any names. They don't want it named. They just want it a part of the park, and we that's just awesome. So again, a shout out to them if they pay attention to these. But really excited for that. But it is going to be a little bit. So we've got some red tape to go through.
And what will be done to the current courts?
So the courts that we're using were concrete, so all we're going to be doing is putting a layer of it's a thick layer, but post-tension concrete on top, and we're going to new fences and some other things, and then the old ones on the so here you go. Every time I do this, I always mess up the north and the south versus which ones the words we're getting rid of. But I think the north ones were the bad ones. We're getting rid of those. So there's going to be a distance between the restroom and the courts. So future expansion means we're going to try to get some connectivity to those things. But for the short term, it's literally just getting rid of the concrete and then setting up in, is it 10 courts?
That's what you said.
Yeah,
that's what it
10
said.
with
yeah.
and we're trying to leave room for some spectating and some and some walkways and some other things. And so then it'll all be basically post-tension and then surfacing and painted and then stationary nets, not portable. It's going to be pickleball and actually, instead of what we have right now, which is tennis that is kind of moved into pickleball with portable nets, this is going to be all pickleball and stationary. So
Any other questions on old business?
One thing I just was curious, at one of the presentations I heard Brad Anderson say that big concrete area in Oakdale Park that, I don't know, was a pool to start with and an ice skating rink. Is that planned to be taken out?
So we are looking at options to basically pool all of these areas that this empty concrete, or I'll call it, and do something with the space or get rid of them. But first things first, we have to figure out, getting rid of it, how much is that going to cost, or if we want to keep it and do something. Right now, what it seems like we're leaning towards is removing all of that, which is like that skate. We call that the skate pond. That's what I refer to it as, because since I've been alive, it's been a skate pond. The skate pond, the north courts, and then the tennis courts, and possibly the horseshoe pits at Sunset. All those tennis courts that we want to demolish, those cannot be used. They've been condemned. The one that we're using is the best of the best. We're even putting a new surface on it. But those other areas, the horseshoe group that we had, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, they left. They don't. So they took all their stuff with them that was good in there. So that's an empty space. So we don't know what we're going to do with those spaces. So it's one of those things we'd like to know. You kind of want to know ahead of time, but it may be that we're just looking to see how much it costs to remove. But at this point, there's no set plan or anything like that. So that's remains to be seen what happens. But we'd like to get rid of empty, non-usable space and get spaces, especially, one of the things that was brought up with the north courts at Oakdale is that there's a bunch of space there that we could utilize, maybe with the River Festival, bringing in more vendors or something like that, and then used throughout the rest of the time for something else. So there's a lot of options, and if it's just an empty, open concrete slab, it doesn't get used as much as it should. So trying to figure out a way to make it more useful.
All right, any further questions? All right, general announcement.
It's not really an announcement, but the only other thing that it didn't get on here, but I just want you guys to be aware, is that there's another phase of the concrete. We have 3 phases. We're on phase number 2 that's going to be starting here pretty quick. I'm not sure, again, timeline, waiting on, we did contracts, boom, 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 so we're waiting on all those to come back. But when it does, that's the one that's going to be at Jerry Ivey Park. There's going to be some significant traffic in there, so we're going to try to do the best we can with keeping things open during the busy season and school stops and try to maneuver that. But we're looking forward to that. Mostly sidewalks that need to be raised, or there's some entries into playgrounds to make them, ADA. So that is going to be going on. So if you see a massive amount of construction in Jerry Ivey, that's the second phase most likely. So with the splash pad and the pond and the sidewalk, Jerry Ivey's going to be looking a little different, come this time next year.
Plus,
so.
the school district's doing all the basketball courts and
The
tennis
tennis
courts. I
courts,
mean,
and those should
that's
be-
major right there.
Sand volleyball
Yeah.
right now, sand volleyball had to go away, but when we bring it back, the marching orders were to bring it back, but bring it back better than what it was. And I know that the sand volleyball folks, are really waiting on that. We're gonna start that very quickly. So all that stuff is stuff that's coming down. So Jerry Ivey's gonna get some major facelifts here pretty quick. So we're excited about that.
Are we keeping the sand volleyball courts out there at Jerry Ivey?
Yeah, they're just gonna have to move because
farther
the tennis
east.
courts that went in and all that. So we plan on just moving them there closer to the shop on that same section of ground.
Not ideal, we realize that, but the two side-by-side pits are gone in Jerry Ivey, so there's only really one court that they're playing on right now, that's Centennial, or they're playing at Sonic. They're making it work in this interim process. They're just patiently waiting, for the next project. So heard some great things about that. They're liking it over there. Just one pit, though.
Right.
Yeah, and like I said, with what we were tasked with, it's to make it better than it was, and so when we do it, we want to do it right. So we've even looked to contractors giving us plans to kind of see what it takes to really do it right. Because I'm pretty sure I can't say for certainty, but I'm pretty sure when we did the last one, it's like, hey, just dig a pit, throw some sand, you're good. We want to make sure this one's actually like the way it should be and better sand quality and some stuff like that. So a little bit longer of a process, but we want to do it right the first time. So, and that's all that I have for everyone.
All right. Anything else from board? We're good.
Do we have to vote to see if Brett does this every month now, or just?
Oh, please let me go back to my. Just kidding. I didn't mind, but it is learning on the fly. So.
All right. We're to adjournment. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Do we have a
I'll
second?
second it.
All right. All those in favor? Aye.
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 All right. We're good. Thank you.
job.